Cool. We are now live for the first ever Jamie and Matt podcast. This is super exciting. 2021 starting off with a bang, which is nice. So, what was it? What was one of the reasons why we wanted to do this, Jamie? It was just kind of like to put out some information out there to, give back to people, and I'd like to say help out. Well, people the way that we needed help when we first started. I say we as if we're both the same age, but I'm about 9 years older than you, I think. Yeah, I'm so old, like you've gone into shock.
And get a perspective of someone young and in their prime, and you, and
yeah, thanks for that. Appreciate that. Right, well, I think I would like to say most people know about me, but they definitely don't. So I will let you start off with a little bit of background about yourself and kind of like what you want to get out of this type thing.
Yeah. So the reason that I got into being a PT and everything like that. So I started training when I was about, I'd say 15, 16. Me and my mate Max Chew would used to cycle to the leisure centre when we were at school, start lifting weights. And looking back now, we had absolutely no idea what we were doing. Purely clueless. I think I went in just the tightest double extra small t-shirt I could find, and went in there, did a couple of sets of bench press on the Smith machine, followed by sets of preacher curls and tricep push downs, and
so
left feeling amazing. Yeah, so now I just add in a couple more sets probably, but that's fine.
Is that the
done that for
Oh, I think, is he there? Is he still there?
Woken Leisure Centre. I'm there.
You still there? Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, I'm still there.
Oh, good. Right, we haven't lost it. Yeah. Sorry, you did say that was a Woken Leisure Centre, yeah? Yeah,
Woken Leisure Centre.
Oh man, some dreams there. I remember doing that when I remember. Do you remember ever getting your first pump? Like I remember getting the pump and being like at home for the first time ever been in the gym, just being like, oh my god, this feels really weird but good at the same time. I like this.
I thought it was huge. That was where my weightlifting began. Was in there. Went from doing like 40 kg on the Smith machine to all the way to getting my first 100 kg flat bench in that gym. So it was where the whole process began. Trained there for a good few years until I was about 17 before I went to pure gym, and then started training more and more, in and out of it all the time. Degree in biomedicine. Again, still trained there, but I was constantly getting pissed and not eating right and dipping in and out every week. 1 week trained well, next week barely trained, and had no real consistency until I kind of got towards the end of my final year, where there was a bit more kind of consistency what happened in that, and then got some real consistency. I start training properly again, training from home, with lucky enough to buy enough weights to really get consistent with it, and then do my first cut down for my first shoot in October. And then and it was over that period in the summer where I got my PT qualification and started
smashing it out of the park.
Doing what I loved as a living.
Okay, no. And have you always done did you do PE at school, like as a subject?
Yeah, so I was in Winston, I done PE, and was one of only 5 people to get an A star in PE. Big flex.
Any benefit in life, is it?
No, it hasn't actually at all. But did PE at school, done PE at college, and then went on to obviously do my degree in biomed at Brunel, and spent most of my time there with the football boys. But
so you're now doing PT. PT's now obviously full time. For those that obviously don't follow you, what's your Instagram? It's like a little tag.
At Jamie Harper _PT.
Very, very original. Very original.
Yeah, I know. Don't know how I came up with that one.
Well, yeah. Of all the names out there that you could have gone for as well, I looked at it. So, okay, sweet, perfect. So, done quite a bit then in a very, very short period of time. We're looking at what, 4 or 5 months, qualified PT, photo shoot, new job PT. Well, yeah, how's it going in starting the PT business in the worst known year to ever start a business?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're still there.
I don't know any different. Yeah. Hello.
Oh, right, yes. No, you just flash froze there for a second, but
yeah, no, it was obviously challenging, but I didn't know any different in the sense that I started it during this, so all the kind of my whole time of building up has been with these challenges, which I think in some ways kind of going to help me moving forward when hopefully those specific challenges go. I'll already be built up, ready to face any kind of challenges similar that come my way.
yeah, I think if you can survive in this year, then yeah, you can survive any year kind of going forward. Definitely with the fact that at the moment, for example, third lockdown, there's nothing to do. So, but train and get into fitness, I think it's kind of a good little thing to kind of go for my end. I mean, it's also how you look at it. I mean, one of the main things I looked at when we got furloughed in March last year was I went kind of put 2 and 2 together after doing nothing but drinking, eating, and sleeping for the first 2 weeks. I might have binge watched quite a few series and ate a load of shit food and might have done sweet FA in terms of exercise. I kind of went, now's the perfect time to do a photo shoot. Why not get lean and everything? So the only way I saw it was like we're being paid to be a bodybuilder. I mean, being paid to sleep, being paid to eat, and being paid to train. So I think it's the way you kind of look at it. I mean, most people have kind of used it as a bad thing. I went, I'm not going to get this time again. I might as well do something useful. So, because I mean, most people that diet for a show don't realise how, or just any kind of diet, realise how tough it could be on your sort of life going forward. I mean, the good thing for me is that with no energy from dieting, I had pretty much nothing to do. It's not like I'm having to go to work or anything like that because you can't. I'm having to get up and go for a walk for cardio and then maybe do some cardio on the bike about an hour later or something like that. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting way of kind of how you see it. I mean, you're either going to use this time now to get fat or get fit. So okay, so good little background and anything like that. And so what are your current plans at the moment? What are you doing? Are you bulking, cutting?
I'm currently bulking at the moment. Yeah, I'm currently bulking at the moment for probably about the next 2 months. I was the bulk, so I want to get a 140 bench, which was going. What I had to be a bit bedridden for a while with COVID.
Oh, the bench, yeah.
Took a bit of a hit. Yeah, it was going to be out for probably another 2.5, 3 months sort of thing. Yeah, just try and get as much kind of tissue put on and strength gains as I possibly can before I then probably do a cut again, potentially another photo shoot, all that kind of stuff ready for the summer. That's my personal aims moving forward, is just to get as strong and big as I can for the next 2-3 months and see what happens. Weight goal wise, I'd say probably 80, 84, 85 would be a good weight for me. I'm at about 80, 81. But last time I went, I'm about 81 now. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I got you. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm about 81 now. And before my last cut, I was 83 to begin with, but it was a bad 83. I'm already definitely in a better nick for 81 than I was last time. It was a flat, chubby 83 as opposed to a decent composition.
A university student 83, yeah. We've all been, don't worry about it.
So yeah, I'm hoping I'll probably be about 84, 85, but a good 84, 85 to push on from.
Okay. Oh, nice. Oh, it's exciting to see. I mean, I'm assuming you're going to be putting up progress pics and stuff like that soon, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, accountability. Yeah, of course,
Everywhere,
accountability.
I'm sure at some point. More probably. What about you, Matt? How did you get into all this?
What, into what, fitness or health? Health and fitness?
The whole realm.
Oh, the whole round. Oh, God, mate, because I'm a little bit older than you.
Your job,
My story's
training.
a little bit longer than yours. I mean, I've always trained. I mean, I was that skinny kid. I mean, I'm a twin, so my twin was about 2 stone heavier than me at like school. When I was 18 and I met the wife, I only weighed 9 stone. So you can imagine me at like this. I'm 6 foot. So you can imagine me at 6 foot at 9 stone. You could see my ribs. There's a picture of me. I'll have to get it up for you and show it. It's of me on holiday. I've got my hands on my hips, and like I can swear if you turn sideways, I just go like you can't see me. So I was always that skinny, weak kid. I finally hit the gym at like 18 with misses, and finally started to. But I enjoyed it. Like I didn't think I'd ever like kind of enjoy it. Put on about 2 stone quite quickly. Got newbie gains as they're called, which was always good fun, and then really enjoyed like the passion of learning from there. I followed this guy. You probably won't know him because you're quite young, actually, from a film called Twilight. There was a guy called Jacob in it.
I mean, what's his name?
I can't remember his name, but I
Yeah,
read
his real
up
name.
his.
I know his real
Yeah, I know
name.
who you know. I know you're trying to find who it is, but I followed his diet, and he basically had a seafood diet. Whatever he kind of like, and every 2 hours he was eating. But he talked about training principles, so I learned about some stuff from there, and it paid off. And then from there,
Taylor Lautner.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so yeah, incredible abs. Yeah, and it just kind of paid off. So I kind of went from there to college. I've had my fair share of injuries, so I've had to do lots of rehabilitation. So you do kind of different types of training from there. What else is there? That's only at college. University, bit of a loner, so training was quite easy for me. Got injured again, did my ACL, so I mean, in that last year, I was probably at the gym 3 times a day in the morning, like stretching, flexibility, you know, more strength training for the leg, and then in the evening again, just sort of like doing stuff to kind of again, well, there's nothing else to do at university. You're either going to drink, eat, or go to the gym. So yeah, kind of did that, and obviously now we're
the route I took is the drink.
Yeah. So what am I? That's my 20s. Finished university with a degree that you never use, which is great. Ended up getting into teaching for college students, so 16 to 19-year-olds. I used to teach sports, nutrition, anatomy and physiology. What else is there? Fitness instructing, personal training, sports massage. And it's kind of like led to where sort of I am now. After a couple of years of teaching, I found out it's probably not for me because I've got no patience with kids who are challenged, let's put it that way. And yeah, that's kind of where I sort of in. I enjoyed helping people, you know, qualified personal trainer. I'm a qualified sports massage therapist. I have my own therapy business, own PT business now. So yeah, that's kind of how I've got into it. Is I've always enjoyed helping people. I prefer to do, let's say, therapy now because I prefer to help people get out of pain as it causes them to get in pain, as you well know, since I've treated you several times. But for me, it's the fascination of like, I mean, I could talk for ages about diet and supplements, and you know, you're looking at like the anatomy and physiology of the human body. Just everything about that really like intrigues me and makes me want to learn. I mean, I know loads of different training principles, and just the way the human body like reacts. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I did the diet this year for the photo shoot, is because I just wanted to see how my body would respond and how far I could push myself, which, you know, ended up originally being like a 4-week diet, turned up to be 6 months. So yeah, and it was really cool. I learned loads of stuff, and I've been helping out clients with that knowledge ever since, which is great. So that's kind of how I've got to where I am now. Plus, guess what? I enjoy what I do a hell of a lot more than I did when I was teaching as well, which is so much better. So yeah, lots of I mean, that's what, 12 years summed up in like
makes a world of difference.
A couple of minutes. So yeah, it's good fun.
Nice. So who was it you'd say that you kind of, was there any people that you used to learn off of back when you were first starting? Like, I know mine was Christian Guzman all day.
Well, yeah, I mean, where you're at now, I mean, I'm a little bit older, so I've got quite a few of the YouTube stars before YouTube became popular. So there's so much information out there. I mean, Rob Riches was probably the first person I ever followed, because you just type in six-pack abs on YouTube and he'd pop up like looking ripped as anything. And when, like, knowing what I know now, if I knew what I know now, then I'd realise that a lot of the stuff is pharmaceutically enhanced, plus the fact that oh yeah, just do this, it'd be great, and yeah, you'll have six-pack abs. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it and I don't have them. What's going on? So yeah, Rob Riches was one of the main ones, but like, you'll know this from being at university and being like on a science or something like that degree, you'll research loads. So yeah, I'm constantly looking at any kind of format whereby there's a bit of information. So John Meadows was one of my best when I used to be a lifeguard when I first finished university. I used to listen to his podcast for about a year, like the hour drive to the leisure centre and then the hour back. Him and like Ben Pekulski were very, very good. And then like one of the main people really that I've listened to who's big in the UK is a guy called Jordan Peters. So, I mean, you're talking like 5'6" of 280 pounds of muscle. So yeah, there's quite a few people I've learned from, but you pick up bits and pieces and make them relative to you. So what about yourself? Who's had your biggest influence?
Like I say, mine was probably Christian Guzman. He was the one that when I was first starting out.
Is he a Gymshark athlete?
Christian Guzman would be the one that I would have followed constantly. He was. Now he was Gymshark back in the day. He's got his own clothing now, Alphalete.
Oh, of course, yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, both, because like I watched him when he was at college, and now he's a business owner, got industry, like his own energy drink brand, his own clothing brand, his own gym, his own everything. But yeah, he was who I probably did most of my kind of watching of back when I was starting, learning out how to lift and all that kind of stuff, how to eat right. But again, a lot of it was just clueless, but like searching on YouTube, how to this, how to that, and then kind of just from things that I'd seen in the gym, I'd go, I want to do that, and I'd search how to do that, or how to get massive arms.
Yeah.
How to get massive chest, and then down the line putting bits that I thought were actually good together with then learning more and more and just kind of
Okay, cool. I always it's quite funny because I'm assuming you've seen the film Pumping Iron, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's quite funny to think like how we look for stuff on YouTube, but when like Pumping Iron with Arnie, they had to figure all that stuff out themselves. Do you think without YouTube you still would have made like the progress that you'd had if you'd have just gone into the gym with nothing else? Like obviously the females and booze come into the equation for you, so
I don't know, probably not. Like that was where I did most of my learning to begin with, before I actually started genuinely learning. Like obviously you've got some bits of stuff from science and from PE in school and that, but like nothing actually like kind of really usable. Strength, because again I was a skinny kid as well. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to.
That was where I got where I've gotten older. I've got better like reading books. Obviously, where I went to university, actually researching and finding out the right things and all that kind of stuff. But when I was like 16, 17, it was mostly YouTube.
So here's a question then, actually thinking about it. With the with knowing what you know now, when you first started, what would be the best piece of advice you'd give to yourself?
I would say, like, actually, for me personally, when I look back at my training, it would have been to do more of the free weight stuff, as opposed to, like I said, I was more Smith machines, and like then just do a bit of like preacher curl, but like I wouldn't ever do any of the actual like complex compound moves to begin. Like, there's a load of big lads down there, we can't get in down there.
Right.
But learning how to do all the proper movements, like the bench, like I said, I was doing it on Smith machine for so long to begin with, that when I actually went and tried to do normal flat bench, I was wobbling all over the shop. I had no kind of stability in there. Like, I had to drop ridiculous amounts of weight in order to do it without to obviously ask for help where you need it, get help, and learn how to do it properly, because we never wanted to ask for help, so we'd just stick to what we felt we could do.
Yeah, that's a male thing, unfortunately. Most males don't ask for help, whereas most females will constantly ask for assistance. So I know that from PT, since most of my PT clients are female, because males just don't want PT, but yet we're the ones that want most help in the long run, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I think for me, the main thing I would have ever done, really, if I go back now, is just don't worry about anything. Just get as strong as you possibly can, and make sure you eat right for what you want to do. So I think the main thing I would say now is that for me, I'm either going to be in a gaining phase or a cutting phase. But then you have to lift as strong as you possibly can for each phase. But the idea is that, I mean, thinking about it now, yeah, just get as strong as you possibly can, because I mean, that obviously John Meadows was a great listen for me, but you get bogged down by so much information out there, and you're trying stuff like, I mean, you've probably seen that meme where there's that guy who's like really skinny, just telling this big guy, being like, "Hey man, you're doing that wrong. You know, you shouldn't lift it like that." And be like, "Yeah, nice one. Yeah, I'm gonna do what I need to do, and you do what you need to do." So I think for me, the best advice I can give most people is just to get as strong as you possibly can. I mean, when I've never seen a strong guy that can lift like 180 kilo squat, 200 kilo deadlift, and 60 plus bench be small. Yeah, we're not going 140 because but still, like, yeah, but 140, is definitely beyond a lot of people's reach. And I would say, the stronger you get, the bigger you'll be anyway. I mean, there obviously is a certain trade-off in terms of like powerlifting and bodybuilding. However, I went through phases where, because you'll hear it like, "Oh, drop the weight and just, focus on form and all the rest of it." I'm like, absolutely, to a point, but like, there has to come a point when you realize that unless you're lifting heavy, the muscle's got no reason to change. And yeah, that's the big, I mean, I probably got bogged down quite a bit during learning loads of stuff, of being like, yeah, it's still lifting the same weight after a period of time. I'm like, whereas now, track everything, and the idea is that you keep progressing no matter what. And I'm doing the same lifts now that I have done for the past year, just getting better and stronger. So yeah, it's probably the best advice I would give.
No, there's obviously there's that point where you have got to accept the fact that you've got to put a bit of intensity into your training and actually push yourself to do more. But that's where I do think it comes with, ask for that help to know when it's, because obviously the general message is obviously get good, have good form and all that, but then there's obviously the side of it where there are points that a bit of dodgy form is the right thing to do if it's done in the right way, and you know why you're doing it and what for, and it's not done in the wrong way. And that's where a bit of help from someone that knows is the right idea to go with.
Yeah, I mean, you know, form and intensity, you know, there's that grey area, isn't there, in between the two, whereby it's going to slip a little bit. I mean, I use it with my clients, you know, but I'll let them know. Look, I'm not worried about form here. I just want you to focus on lifting this heavy ass weight as many times as you possibly can. And then what we'll do is we'll have a look, we'll assess it. And then if it's not quite where we want it to be, we'll reduce, we'll work on form, but we'll get past that point eventually. They put the you know, the thing I think most people don't think about is that, like, is you do it consistently, crap technique and form all the time when like really lifting heavy. It's not. It's just, for me, it's kind of a gauge, especially like if I'm lifting, for example, at the moment I'm doing barbell rows. I'm at about 85 kilos barbell rows, but I've had to go back down from 100 plus kilos to work on form so that I can go past 100 plus kilos. But when I was doing the 100 plus, like everything's working to get that weight up. And yet, if I don't do as much of what's called sloppy form, then that weight's not going to move at all. However, when I go back down, 85 feels a hell of a lot lighter, so I can be better form at it. So there's kind of a trade-off area, I would say. And again, it also depends on the exercise. I would never do that with bench. Geez, God, pop a shoulder out, something like that. So yeah, so that's probably the advice I would say.
It's a lot harder to do with something like bench, but
well, yeah, true. Actually,
fair enough.
Yeah. What's the other thing I wanted to kind of? So yeah, I mean, the idea, you know, for me on this podcast and stuff like that, is to kind of like give out information that we wish. Well, personally, I wish I'd known a lot sooner, so that people don't make the same mistakes that we do. I mean, I see it in the gym the same as you do, probably every single day. You know, the women come straight in, go, oh, I don't want to lift any weights, I don't want to get too bulky, and I'm like, oh God. So if we can get rid of that like misinformation, and it starts from a young age, you know, if we can help out like nutrition as well, you know, it's some of the toughest things for people to help. You know, just any way we can. One of the good things as well, you know, I'll touch upon is sort of like my therapy stuff and how to help in terms of like, you know, recovery, injury, stuff like that. Stuff that I know that I personally use, that I do on people. And again, sort of like, you know, we can both attack people's well-beings, both mental, physical, sort of in sort of our own kind of way. I think it definitely help a lot of people. I think that's one of the good things that we have. There's a lot of experience, even in your young, tender years.
Fresh face. Yeah, and just for a bit of entertainment, if you can call it that.
One of the things I definitely think as well, I mean, it's always good to kind of see what research and what's going on that's out there. I mean, I think we'll delve into this one a little bit deeper in the next kind of podcast, whatever it is. But I don't know did you see the Cosmopolitan photo?
Body positivity one.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, without opening up a huge can of worms, you know, there are two ways you can look at it, like with everything. However, there's only one way you can look at it in terms of health. So
it's objectively healthy and not healthy, but yeah, like you say, we'll talk about that next time.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we've already been quite a few. Well, I think it's been about 20 minutes. You know, we could quite easily do another 20, 30 minutes on this one. One thing I think would also be very good would potentially be like a Q&A, putting up some questions for people to see, you know, and addressing those, maybe addressing people specifically. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And one of the things I think I was going to ask you actually, so have you got any what's the word? You got any programs ongoing at the moment for yourself now that whilst people are off that they can potentially get involved in?
Yeah, no, so I've got my online coaching that I've got 12-week programs going on at the moment. Workouts, nutrition, accountability, check-ins, like 24/7 access to like ask questions to me, and loads of lifestyle coaching and everything involved in that. If people want to know more, just get in contact with me and I can point you in the right direction of how we can go about having a chat and working together.
Sweet, perfect. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much the same.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm the same. I've got like I'm doing only emergency appointments for treatments at the moment for people in chronic pain and stuff like that. And again, PT. I've got one-to-one PT availability. Again, what main word you use? Accountability, knowledge. I mean, I've been in the game for over 12 years now, so yeah, I'm pretty sure I can help a lot of people. But again, people just got to reach out. So that's pretty much what I've got going on. Right, I think that's everything for this first one.
Yeah.
I will hopefully get this up as quickly as possible, and then yeah, we'll have a look for the next podcast and get some entertainment in that one, the next one.
Lovely. Right.
All right. Let's. I'll tell you what. I'll stop this recording here then.